How's it going, everybody? This is Radishhead, and welcome back to another episode of Upland Analysis. Today, we're in Rutherford, a city that I don't think I've ever spoken before in depth on the channel before, and not a city that I was expecting to be talking about today, in fact. I had a different video planned, but I've been keeping a close eye on the market trends and the Upland Discord discussions surrounding this city recently. And I think it's fair to say that there have been some really dramatic moves going on in this small, relatively unassuming city that I've got to talk about sooner rather than later, because the story is changing all the time, and I just need to get the word out there for people who aren't following the Rutherford story that there is something going on here and you need to check it out. So, Rutherford, as I say, it's a fairly small, unassuming city just off of Manhattan. Tier 3, I didn't really think too much about it, but it turns out it is its small size that is actually playing to its advantage. As I've mentioned in a recent video, you can now collect spark chests from treasure hunts, and it turns out a city as tiny as Rutherford means that you don't need to buy too many properties in the city to have a really good web of properties around the city that you can pretty much do treasure chests as much as you want for no send fees and no sends. And until recently, you also didn't have to spend a massive amount of UPEX either to build such a web, but that has recently changed. I'm going to bring up some numbers that I've just pulled here, right? So, on the left here, I have pulled up yesterday's Rutherford sales data. And by yesterday, things had already picked up quite a lot, to be honest. Like, word was getting around that people were buying up the floor in Rutherford. So if we just scroll down here, look, there was a property for 20k, but that looks like it was a bit of an exception. So the floor yesterday was 24k, and fairly smooth into 25, 26, 27. So fairly gradual trend up from that 25 mark. Let's talk about today. This was generated this afternoon. So let's go past the UPEX, the USD prices. Oh my god! In one day, the floor has gone up by about 20%. It's now at 30,000 UPEX, and actually, that's not the full story, believe it or not, because as well as the floor rocketing in the last day or two, the supply of properties in Rutherford is drying up. Look at this. This graph here shows the cheapest 100 properties for sale in Rutherford for UPEX. Just the cheapest 100. And you can see that if you go up along about 30 properties from where we are now, so the floor of 29, 30k, if we go about 30 properties bought, suddenly the floor is now 40k. If you go along another 30-ish, suddenly the floor is 60k. And the top 100 takes you to 139k. This is symbolic of a city that is running out of properties really quickly. And I can show you some more data to prove this. If we go on Marketplace Analytics, Rutherford, I've already done a filter on this. This is updated once a day, so you can see as of when it was updated for today, the lowest price was 24k. So that kind of aligns with what I was showing you earlier. So already we can prove that in a day that lowest UPEX cost has gone up by about 5k. But look at this, properties for sale at the same period of time, 746. Let's just go on to Upland. And this is a really good thing to do if you're not aware you can do it. But if you zoom out to show the area that you want to look at, and you just click, this little icon down here that looks like a building. There you go. Actually, since this data was pulled, we've gone from 746 properties available to 644. That's 100. So that's more than 10% of the available properties have gone in a day, less than a day. And this includes properties for sale in UPX and dollars. This data that I pulled earlier shows that actually, if you're looking at UPX only, and you're only looking at properties, below 140k UPX, actually that's 100 properties to go. That's nothing. We sold 100 properties in Rutherford between the time the data was extracted for today and the time I'm recording this video a few hours later. So yeah, you can see why I wanted to get this video out pretty quickly. Now, I want to exercise caution. I think it's pretty clear that Rutherford is in some kind of speculative bubble right now, and I'd struggle to recommend investing too heavily in Rutherford at this price, but not financial advice. I've bought some properties in Rutherford this afternoon because I see absolutely no reason why we're not going to buy up this bit and at least jump up to 45, 50k. That seems really realistic to me. Not a guarantee, but that's what I'm betting on. And I know a lot of people are betting on that too. So there you go. That's the Rutherford story. I hope you learned something. I've certainly learnt that I need to pay more attention to these little small cities, because now that we can hunt for spark, there is a market there for the smaller cities. So that is worth keeping an eye on in the future. If Upland release more small cities in the future that are really easy to treasure hunt in, I'm definitely going to be building a treasure hunting web, or at least buying up a lot of cheap properties with the idea that in the future other people will want to build a treasure hunting web, and then I can benefit from that by selling off my properties. So that is my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd love it if you gave me a like and subscribed to the channel. But until next time, I'll see you then.